So Miranda, what did we do today?
Today we woke up from the Sea of Galilee and we immediately went out for breakfast and then went on our way. Did we not?
Not immediately.
Really? Okay.
Because remember you
Today-
laid down in bed and didn't get up.
Today I didn't get up when we woke up at the Sea of Galilee, and it took us a really long time to go to breakfast. And once we left, we made our way to a place where David wasn't telling us where it was, but or he told us where it was, but he didn't tell us what happened there or like what the site was at all. And all he told us was that we were gonna love it, and we did. What was it called?
Beishan.
It was called Beit Shan, and it was the coolest place, like excavation-wise, that I had ever seen. Like, this city was so, like, preserved and just, like, neat to look at. And they had done, the whole things where you have the old stone and then they, like, build new stone to make it look like it did. But, like, even with that, like, you could still tell, even with the old stuff, like, it was so neat to go and just, like, poke around everywhere. And so I started jumping down into holes and just, like, I was like, what's this? I want to go in here. And it was totally worth it. And some other people came by and kind of like tiptoed around it with us, and so that was really fun. And then my mom got injured, so she's kind of like lagged behind. And so me and David decided that we were gonna scale this like little mountain hill thing. And I got tired like towards the top because it's a lot of stairs just going up like this entire thing, and then I realized that like 10 stairs above me was the top, and I was like, oh, that makes it a lot easier. So we went up there, we took a selfie over all of the ruins, and it was so cool from up there because you could see everything. You could see the whole layout with like the road that goes across right here, and then one that kind of didn't go perpendicular, but you could kind of see like it had like the same idea. And then we went down and we poked around a little bit more. We met up back with my mom, and we went through and we saw the mosaics that they had there laid down. And we got to like press this button, and the speaker would like tell us all about like these really cool facts about like just how like the city basically worked and like the whole like idea of it. And then we decided to go back because we really had to get to Jordan in time. So we got a popsicle on the way, and then we made our way to Jordan, and that was interesting. We had started out believing that we could take our rent car to the border and just kind of leave it there and then cross and then do whatever we had to do on the buses and then get a new one on the other side and then leave it there, and then get our one that was parked back on the border. And what had actually gone down was that we went to the border with the rent-a-car, and they told us that we could not leave it there. And so we had talked to one of the taxi drivers, just kind of like ominously parked outside. There's like 4 of them, and this guy basically told us like, no, you're gonna follow me and park your car at like this like eatery kind of, it was like a little tiny rest stop thing, I want to say. But it was really cool driving over there because that was the first time I got to see a camel, like not in some like fair. So I was really excited about that. I kept pointing out every single one. I was like, these are so cool, I will totally want to ride one. And then we stopped the car, we got in the taxi, and like after a really long time, 'cause, like stuff happened in between where like people had to go to the bathroom, we had to get like money, like the correct money for the trip, from this little like ATM. And but after we got that all done, we finally went through the border, and we went on the bus. And these like first like when we crossed, like you could tell like a lot of people were like really nice to you. And the first person I would say would be these people that spoke Spanish, and I think that was their first language. And then the one guy who spoke Spanish would talk to this other guy who I'm not sure what he spoke, but I know English wasn't his first language, even though he's good at it. And he helped out, like, he was, like, catering to, like, my mom, and then we went out and and we went out and got all of our, you know, stuff checked and all that. And then, like, as soon as we exited this gate, like, the first thing we saw were, like, soldiers at this gate. And we're like, oh, at least I was like, oh. And I walk out and, like, they're walking faster than me, so I lag behind, and this, like, poor woman comes up to me, and, like, I can't tell what she's feeling because she's smiling at me and asking for money and, like, winking at me. And I was like, I can't help you. Like, I don't have any money. And, like, if I did, I would totally give her some, but I didn't. And it was just, like, really weird because, you know, they just kind of follow you. I didn't really know how to, like, say that I didn't have any. But I felt really bad because I totally wanted to, like, help her out. And that happened actually, like, a few times. And then we rented a car. We found our exact rent-a-car company down the street, which was really cool. And we asked them for the car, and me and my mom got sodas along the way, and they came by with, like, this white van, and basically in the end we got in it getting ready to go and stuff, and we realized that the tank had only, like, there's, like, a set of bars, and so there were, like, maybe 8 bars and only one was filled, and it's, like, supposed to show you how much gas there is. And so we're like, oh. And so David got the information of, like, where the next gas station was, and it was, like, these really crazy directions. So we had to, like, run around the place, and at, like, every single, like, block that we churned, I would be like, this is hella sketch. Like, that's basically what I said the entire time. And we ended up hitting, like, farmland after, like, one churn, and like, we asked different people to help us, and, like, we got, like, mixed reactions. Like, one of the people that we asked were like, hey, where's the gas station? And, like, he totally gave, like, I don't know if they were wrong directions, because it technically got us to the right place in the end, but he really acted like it was, like, completely, like, bogus directions, so I really don't know how to respond to that. Because he was kind of like, he gave us the directions and he was really smiley about it, and then as soon as we left, I turned around and he was, like, laughing as hard as he could with his friends and, like, clapping as he was like, ah! It was so funny, but yeah. And then another time, this is, like, before that though, we had, like, pulled into this, like, really complicated, like, really tight street, and there was one of the little boys, I don't want to say little boy, he was probably, like, a teenager, and he was just with this little donkey down there, and we just kind of strolled up, and he was, like, waving as soon as we came by, and then he's like, oh wait, they want me for something. So, like, he kind of, like, ran up this little hill, and it was so funny though, because, like, as soon as, like, we were trying to, like, communicate through the window, and as soon as David stepped out, like, this guy went into, like, a full-on, like, sprint, like, he was about to, like, get out of there, and we're like, no, like, we come in peace, like, that sort of thing. I was like, I know he looks scary, but, like, you know, we're just trying to get help, and he was trying to help as best as he could. And we actually saw him, like, a few more times after that, just because we kept, like, finding ourselves in that, like, that exact area, like, 3 times. And each time he was just, like, super sweet, just riding on this little donkey everywhere. And so finally we got gas, and then we started to drive, and we noticed that, like, there were these cool little, like, nomadic towns or camps that were set up by these people. And it was just really cool because, you know, you don't obviously see that, like, anywhere at least that I've gone to. And so that was really cool, and we kind of, like, made this, like, weird pact that I'm pretty sure won't ever happen of, like, let's go try to meet them someday. So that would be cool. And then we went our way all the way to Petra, and that was interesting because we saw the sign, like, once and not again for another, like, 40 miles, I want to say. So we, like, originally thought, like, we had made the wrong turn, so we kind of backtracked. It was only, like, after, like, 10 minutes, just to, like, make sure that that was the exit that we were supposed to take for Petra. And then we went up again, and like we started to notice that like you would go up the hills and you wouldn't see any more hills on top, so you'd be like, oh, this is the top, and then you'd round a corner and there would be like somehow like taller and taller like mountains, until like the entire like side of the road you would look down, it was like the Grand Canyon or some like craziness. Like it was so far up. We were just like, we just went from like the lowest elevation possible to like the highest one, because we'd been like crossing the Dead Sea, and like I made a couple stupid puns about it, but yeah. And so we'd gone from literally like a lowest place on earth to like the tallest that I've ever been, I think. And that was just like crazy, because we started like rounding turns, and we noticed that like people had set up like towns up here, and we're like, this is crazy, because like how could you ever live up here? I mean, I think it's cool, but how? And we found out that we were on the right track for Petra, so that was good. And then our GPS signal went out, so we kind of had to go blind for a little bit. And then we just kind of kept looking at like the iPhone, and kind of found our way around it, and like asked if like a ton of people on the side who were like totally nice enough, they were like going the opposite way as us, and we would like wave our hands, and they would like reverse back to like see what was like, if we were okay and all that, which was super cool. And we totally made it here like safe, and we didn't take any wrong turns, and we finally got here. And then we saw all the hotels that were around here, and like this was all new to us. We hadn't like, well, obviously I haven't ever gone to Petra, my mom hasn't ever gone to Petra, David has gone to Petra, but he didn't stay at the place that we had booked. And so we were like looking around at all these hotels, and it was like really bad. Like if you could do the 1 to 5 stars, I'm sorry, some of these were like maybe 0. Not all of them, but some of them. You could kind of tell like, okay, like this is kind of still up to like the end of the hotels, and we see this like security gate, and we're like, what? And then like it opens up, and we round the corners like this giant like stone building, and we're like, what is this? And like the people are like super nice. We go in, and they like we look at it, and it's basically like something that looks like it's just out of like the Petra, you know, like the ruins and stuff like that, and we're just like, no way. But that's for later. So we go inside, and they are like super nice to us. Like while, you know, David was doing all the paperwork for the hotel, like me and my mom were just talking to each other, and these people were like bringing us orange juice, and then they brought me like guava juice. And I was like, this is so cool. And then the guy helped us with our bags, and then he like hooked me and my mom up with like the best room ever. Just telling you, it's really cool. So we ended up getting like hooked up with a balcony to where we could see the trail into Petra, which I just thought was really cool. And then we went outside and, you know, just kind of poked around for a little bit before having dinner. And we had like this phenomenal dinner. It was like one of those buffet things that the hotel puts on, but it was like superb. I mean, like the food was literally amazing. And so we went back out, and we went outside. We went outside, and you see like this giant stone structure with like pillars and like rooms on the side, and then like a giant like cave basically on like the middle with a bar in it. And we were like, whoa, this is so cool. And like one side of the whole like stone pillar area had like tables with chairs, and then the other one was like a lounge, and so you could like lay on couches. And so we got to like sit on like the couches, and we drank martinis. And then my mom was not happy with the martinis, so she made her own martinis and made them for us. And the guy was just like totally making friends with us. It was just like really cool, because like I'm starting to notice that like a lot of people here are like super friendly. And then we were talking, and like this cat comes up to us, and like I love cats, and I've had a lot of encounters with cats in Israel, And this is the first cat that literally saw me looking at him, and he walked straight over to me and jumped on my lap, and I was like, no way, this is so cool. I was like, this must not be like a stray cat or anything. So I'm like petting it and stuff, and my mom meanwhile is like making the drinks, and then it goes on David's lap, and David's like, no, I don't like cats. And so it came back to me, and then it was so happy that it kind of urinated. So we didn't really know what to do about that, because we're like, wow, you're really sweet, but you kind of just urinated on me. So I also, it had like really sharp claws, and I'm not used to that, so I kind of like pushed it off a little bit, and it just got really mad at me for the rest of the night, and I felt really bad because I love cats. So like it tried to like bite me at one point, and I was like, okay, well maybe that was a love bite. It was not a love bite. We kept on like trying to like walk around and stuff, and my mom would reach down to pet this cat, and like it totally loved her for like 5 seconds until it wanted to like eat her face off. And like it wasn't like, you know, like mean, but it would like, you know, it would like jump at her a little bit, like saying like, hey, like back off, man. And this cat, like everyone around the hotel knew this cat, and they were like, yeah, like this cat and its significant other, which is probably just another cat, probably, went over and like would hang out with like the strangers at like this hotel all the time and sit on their laps and stuff. And it was just like really interesting because we went into the bar, and it even followed us into like this cave like bar thing, and all the employees were just like giggling at it. It was just like really interesting. So that was a good end to the day.